Today concludes our full kind of vetting of the Pistons' big four: Cade, Ivy, Asar, Duran. Started with Ivy, went to Asar, went to Duran, and now we're finishing out Cade Cunningham. We're doing our list. Where do we think these guys rank at their respective positions for the beginning of the 2025-26 NBA season? And now we're concluding with Cade Cunningham, where we think he's going to end in the rankings in terms of top point guards in the NBA by the end of the season. Now, this is, I think, is kind of a open shut type of discussion because the reality is Cade's already at the top. He doesn't have far to go, but to make that leap at the top sometimes could be a whole lot harder than making the leap from the middle of the pack to the top of the pack, right? There might be significant things that people have to do. Uh, Kevin Porter Jr. has to stay consistent, minimize the lows, and he'll take a huge jump, probably 5 to 8 slots up. Right? You look at somebody like LaMelo Ball, he needs to win. You look at somebody like where's he at? Scoot Henderson. All he's got to show is that jump shot, right? And all of a sudden he jumps another 10 to 15 spots. What's good, Frank Nitty? But when you look at the top, you got SGA, Steph, Kyrie, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Halliburton, Trey Young, close behind him, and John Morant too. You can't leave him out. Darius Garland, Tyrese Maxey, Amin Thompson. All these guys are hungry for that number one spot. All these guys, and if I'm honest with you, it's wide open. Steph is regressing year after year. His team doesn't win as much as it used to, and I think they're pretty much past that championship prime. But you can't count them out. They got Jimmy buckets. Don't get a 65 to 70 uh, games played from Jimmy Butler. Perhaps being out of Miami, being with the Golden State Warriors, who don't take risks with their guys, let them get healthy. Have probably one of the best fitness training and development programs in the NBA. They might get him right. And he might have a 65 game season. If Jimmy Butler plays 65 games, this could be a 50-win team, even if they got a bunch of dump trucks surrounding Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. Right now, I like Moses Moody and Pajemski's all right, but you quickly look at that roster and you're like, all right, you got Buddy, who you got in the post? Quentin Post? Who the hell is that? Trace to who? Yeah, bro, that team is real light in the behind. You know what I mean? All this to say is Steph is going to have a hard time hanging on to that top spot. Kyrie Irving is going to have a hard time hanging on to that top spot because he's going to be out most of the season, if not the full season at 33 years old, coming off of that injury. It's not an Achilles. I think it's was it an ACL? Something like that. Either way, it's the type of injury that he could come back from between 6 to 9 months, right? He's not going to rush it though, and he's smart not to rush it. You just signed your extension. You're 33 years old. Come back strong. Take care of your body. Yeah, ACL for Kyrie. So it's to say that getting that top spot, SGA has it for now. He got the MVP. He won the Finals MVP, NBA champion. You know what I mean? Got the big three all in one, right? Uh, MVP, Finals MVP, championship. It's rare to get all three. He's got it. So to take the crown from him, you're gonna have a hell of a year. Now, what does it take for Cade Cunningham to take that crown? Now, here's the thing. I think he could leapfrog Jalen Brunson. I even think he could leapfrog Kyrie and Stephen Curry. But to get the number one spot, you might have to come back with a championship or a ring. Or potentially, you're going to have to shore up a few areas. And that's what I want to get into today. What does Cade Cunningham have to do to take that next leap? I know we went through Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duran. Those guys are figuring it out. I think they're going to take strides forward. But Cade Cunningham is at the tip of the spear for the Detroit Pistons. He's that superstar on the team, the bona fide superstar, the one that is undisputed. He's the leader. He's the max salary guy. He's the all NBA performer, the all star, the only one that they got. And I don't think it stays that way. I see Asar Thompson coming. I definitely see Jaden Ivey coming. And Jalen Duran is going to be pulling up the rear. All right. I kind of had higher hopes in the past for him, but yeah, I think after really vetting Jalen Duran, I think it's going to be probably 2 to 3 years before he gets to that all-star state, especially because Evan Mobley is ascending. You still got Jared Allen. Embiid might become healthy. Giannis. You still got, plenty of cats competing at that position. Jalen Johnson, Paolo Banchero. You just got a lot of bigs, all right, in the East. All this to say is Cade Cunningham. He's the one that stirs the pot, right? What does he have to do to take that leap? The first thing he has to do to take that leap, and I think I've been pretty clear about this, he's got to get right to it. And when I say get right to it, you got to, I just finished watching this interview. Isaiah Thomas is talking about his crossover and Tim Hardaway's crossover, not junior, senior, right? Run TMC, Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat playoffs, Tim Hardaway. And he's talking about during his day, you had to stay in the box. In the box, meaning you have your man in front of you, and you have maybe a foot outside of him on either side, but that's it. Going any wider than that, east and west, put you in play for that help defender. And so doing a crossover back in that day, it was about being quick. It was about having a tight handle that was low, that was swift, that could allow you to stay north and south. Think the difference between uh, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Stick with me on this comparison. Jason Tatum's crossover looks clean, but it's wide. He goes east and west a lot, and he's able to knock down shots. He has great positional size, somewhere between 6'8" and 6'10". Who knows with shoes, how he's grown over the years. All right, he's tall, he's long, he can shoot over the top. And when he's shifty and he pulls up, he's hitting over most defenders. But in the playoffs, where defenders are locked in, the scheme is locked in. People can game plan for him. Yes, he has big games, and he's shown he can do what he does. But he also can struggle a bit because if he doesn't have that pop, if he doesn't have that explosiveness, if he doesn't have the mindset, he can struggle. And we saw that in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks. We saw it in the finals against the Golden State Warriors. He can struggle in getting downhill. Now, Jaylen Brown's crossover, it's not as pretty, but it's tight. Sure, he doesn't have a great left hand, but he gets north and south, meaning straight line drive to the basket extremely well. And his ability to do that negates that help defender and it collapses the defense all the more. So he was actually far more effective in the playoffs, especially on the run to their championship, where he won Eastern Conference playoffs MVP, NBA Finals MVP, and got a championship all in one. Right, a different triumvirate. Right, not the league MVP, but to win the conference Finals MVP is no slouch. It's nothing to disregard. Right, that's big time. And he did it because I think of his style, getting straight to it downhill. One thing that SGA has mastered at this point is getting right to his spot. Even Luca, to an extent, gets right to his spot. He's going direct. He's not doing the side to side, east and west. It's not effective. It's pretty. But if you're not ultra quick, like let's say a Allen Iverson, right, who's probably one of the freakish athletes we've ever seen, right? He wasn't quite Ja Morant, but very close to Ja Morant, but a 10 times better jump shot, right? So you have a freak athlete who's able to go out wide beyond the box. He's able to step outside and get you shifting side to side, cross you over. Jamal Crawford, right? 6'5", great positional size, can shoot right over the top of you. He can go outside the box. And that got popularized. CJ McCollum as well. Guys started thinking, okay, hey, let's do this other type of crossover. And it could work. I used to do it back in the day. But in the playoffs, when things get tight, the defense is set, you got to get right to it. The big step for Cade Cunningham, if he's going to take that leap, is he has to simplify his game. He's got to be able to get right to his spots, get right to his shot, and show the ability that he can impose his will to do so, whether it's a tight crossover, whether it's giving the ball up when they're trying to press you the full court, and then go straight to the block, catch it on the block, and go right into a turnaround jump hook or quick up and under, right? Spin baseline. Maybe it's a little spin baseline with a little bump and step back, but he's got to be able to get right to work and minimize all the extra dribbles, all the extra work to get to his spots. Because if we're honest, man, the man takes sometimes 8 to 10 dribbles to get to his spot. And I might be exaggerating a bit, but you get the gist. He's working too hard to get to his spots. And it's not that I don't want to say it bogs down the offense, but it sometimes it gets everybody just standing and looking. Now, Sarah Thompson does a great job moving off the ball. Jalen Duren makes himself available. right? Tobias Harris knows how to find that weak side corner. He'll knock down the shot. And Jaden Ivey, I like his three-point shooting threat. I think he's going to be able to shoot at volume like Tim Hardaway Jr. was doing, just with the downhill driving as well, and far more playmaking and shot creation. All this to say is he's going to have more talent around him. So he's going to have to simplify his game so he can maximize them as well. We don't need, and when I say we, the Detroit Pistons don't need Cade Cunningham to be this heliocentric, ball dominant scorer. That's not what we need. And we're realizing more and more it's not effective if you're trying to win a championship. James Harden couldn't do it. Allen Iverson couldn't do it. Even Luka, to an extent, couldn't do it. You have to be able to play within a flow. You have to be able to distribute and make other guys better. Now, LeBron could do it because he's a basketball genius. He's a phenom, right? Once in a generation player. And at 6'8", 6'9", 250, 260 pounds, he had so many advantages with the IQ and the skill level. He was able to just control the whole game. Cade Cunningham is not that level of a floor general. He's just not. And that's okay. You don't have to be him, right? But you do have to maximize the tools that you're given. And that looks like simplifying your game. That's the first part. The second part goes alongside of that. It's kind of like an accomplice to that point. You're going to need to be able to trust your teammates more. Let them play with the ball more. He should have the outlook that I know I'm the closer. I know I'm the leader on this team. I don't need to prove anything at this point. We need to win. But to do that, he's got to bring the team along with him. Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, even maybe Ron Holland to an extent, Marcus Sasser, Jalen Duren. These guys need to eat, which means that he has to find the right balance of making them better. Now, here's the thing. He's a great distributor. Great distributor. But I don't think he needs to get as many assists. I don't think he needs the ball in his hands as much. And I think that what he needs to start doing is kind of deferring, letting them bring the ball up, putting the ball in their hands, scoring more in the floor. In the flow, not the floor, on the floor, in the flow. And the reason why is because he's so effective at scoring all over the court. He doesn't need the ball to do so most of the time. Many times he can use his gravity as a threat on the court to open things up for everybody else and allow those guys to eat. Because let's be real, if Jaden Ivey is eating, if Jalen Duren is eating, if you got Asar Thompson rolling, you got Marcus Sasser, you got Ron Holland, you got Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, Isaiah Stewart, everybody's eating. If everybody eats, the game is simple for Cade Cunningham at that point. It will be impossible to stay in front of him. And you can pace yourself. So what I actually see is potentially Cade Cunningham's scoring, not necessarily taking a jump or a dip, but the efficiency to go up. And how the efficiency goes up is he allows other people to play make for him. He allows himself to score in the flow, and then he closes out the games and makes sure that we can win. Now, that's the second part. The third part is the defense. Look, we all know Asar Thompson, first team all defense, defensive player of the year candidate. He's a shutdown phenom. He's your Darrell Revis. He's your Charles Woodson. He's the guy that can just shut down a particular threat on the court, maybe even a whole side of the court. When he's out there, he is just absolutely a wrecking, what they call a wrecking ball, right? He just blows up an offense. Can Cade Cunningham step up his defense so that he can amplify that? In the same way that SGA did alongside Alex Caruso and LeGuins Dort and Chet Holmgren, even Isaiah Hartenstein, Case and Wallace. He's got all these good defenders around him, but he was like, not only am I not going to be a slouch on defense, I'm going to add to this. Because if we're getting steals and runouts, we're getting early, easy offense that allows us to score with efficiency and keep up our defensive effort so that we can be able to put that pressure on teams and really just blow them out. I think that's the next step too. Yeah, Frank Nitti, I believe he can also, but it's a mindset. It's a mindset. I'm going to let these guys cook. I'm going to stay within the flow. How can I move around, stay active in this offense? And then when it comes to defense, how do I put that pressure on them? How do I say, hey, you know what? I ain't no slouch either. It ain't going to be no break for you to go from Asar Thompson to me, to Jaden Ivey, right? You're going to get pressed and pressured the whole way through. And I can put forth that energy on defense because I know I'm not carrying as much of a burden on offense. I'm not saying it's all on me on offense. So I don't mind letting guys eat, letting them work because I know that we're in this together and I could trust them. And so I think that that's probably the three big things that Cade Cunningham needs to do to take that leap, right? Keep scoring, but increase that efficiency. And I think that that happens by letting these other guys cook and set him up. Wide open threes, kickouts, dump offs, cutting off the ball, um, maybe running some pick and roll action. Yeah, this was his mindset when he was with Montverde. Yep, and he had Scotty Barnes and he had Moses Moody, right? He had squad, right? And I think he also had the big man who's in Brooklyn. I forgot his name. See if I can pull up his name real quick because I like him also. His name is play with him at Montverde, Brooklyn. Where he at? It doesn't show him on here. I know he got re-signed though. What's his name? Darren. Yeah, Darren Sharp. Facts. Facts. So it's like when you have that much talent and you trust that talent, you're able to play off them, and it makes the game easy. I think that's the first step. The second step is playing within the flow. Those first two steps is going to keep his efficiency high while continuing to score at the level that he is. It's also going to allow him to preserve his legs so he's not wearing down throughout the course of the season. Because remember, we got a long way to go. The NBA season, including playoffs, is a marathon and it takes a lot out of you. If you can get to your spots easy, efficiently, effectively, without having to put forth so much energy, that's how you save your legs for the playoffs. That's how you get to the playoffs fresh. And then you really turn it on, right? Because that's when you really need to play into your potential that really draws that defense out and forces them to adjust to you. That's really where we want Cade to turn it on. Yeah, do your thing, and I think he is throughout the regular season. But if he could let these other guys eat and brings his team along with him, this could be a 50-win season. This could be a 50-win season. Now, remember, we're not top heavy in the East, right? You got Cleveland, New York, but we're right there. We're heavy in the middle of the pack, right? The middle of the pack is eating, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Indiana, whether it's Orlando, whether it's Philly still there, whether it's a lot of these other teams who are making adjustments to be able to compete for an opportunity to get to the playoffs. Even Milwaukee will be right there, right? Um, these are all people we're going to have to reckon with. And so save your legs, lock in on defense, maintain that culture, right? And let these other guys grow and develop. Because if Ivy becomes an all-star, Fasar Thompson becomes an all-star, Jalen Duren, right? Ron Holland ascends to become a starter. Marcus Sasser, sixth man of the year, right? If these guys all ascend, the game becomes easy for Cade. And I think that's how we step into that championship window in a couple of seasons. But as always, I want to know what you all think. I'm going to wrap up the video early because I got things to do today. Get at me in the comment section. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Hit the like button. It's a little thing, but it's a small, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing for the channel. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I'm going to get at y'all next time. All right. Peace.